Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are now on chapter 4 of the self-defense journey of a firearms owner, new firearms owner. First, second, and third chapters, go back and watch those if you haven't already. And right now we are focusing on what you need to finish out, to flesh out what it is you're going to do with starting to carry. You're going to start carrying this gun, you're going to keep training with it, and be ready to defend yourself with it, basically. So first of all, magazines. When you bought the gun, you should have gotten 3 magazines. I feel strongly that you should have 3 more magazines, and the reason for that is to be able to train with them. Okay, if they're already loaded up more easily, you can train at the range with more mags. They should be the same-ish. Now I'm going to point out a couple things which don't really make a lot of sense. Here we have a big 40 rounder. Now, they're cool. It is nothing wrong with having more ammo, right? It's a good idea, especially if you had a pistol caliber carbine, something like that, you would want more rounds, okay? But having this in the gun is not really going to help you train better necessarily. It's gonna, just not necessarily. For reference, I'll show you another one here. Here's a 32 rounder that fits in the M&Ps. Definitely not a bad mag, but it just changes the balance of shooting that gun. And these are, I'll just say these are kind of second-class citizens as far as the quality of these magazines. So don't think that getting a bunch of these is going to fix everything, is going to solve everything. And like I said, you should have 3 magazines to begin with when you bought this gun, and you should get 3 more. So basically, 6 mags, same size, same capacity for the most part. Make sure that you have these so that you are training effectively and also so that you're just consistent. It's going to help you in a lot of ways. 2 more things not to necessarily get would be, now this, I'm not ruling this out entirely, but don't necessarily get extended mags which have this. It's going to change your grip on the gun. And you can train through that, and that is fine. It's nice to have an extra couple rounds, or maybe you need that extra grip to shoot the gun well, but you should train with the whatever consistent magazines you're going to have, you're going to carry with. Even the difference of this thing sticking out the bottom, and your hand on it is going to change kind of how you line the red dot up, or your sights, basically. It can affect that. And here's just one more example. This is a 17 round magazine, and I would not use this for the 15 round guns, basically, because this is a cheaper magazine. It's about 20 bucks, and it has crappier feed lips, a little bit sharp, doesn't feed as well. This is not really one of the, this should not be one of the first 6 that you buy. So within your budget, here you go. You should spend 90 bucks roughly on 3 more quality magazines for your gun. Next up, and this is the big one, a holster. Now this is, I'm budgeting $200 for a good holster. Now I'm saying you should get an inside the waistband holster for this. And basically don't expect the first one to fit your needs perfectly. It might take you a while to find that holster. That being said, as I prepared for this, I realized this would be a big enough topic by itself. So I am going to film a separate video just about this, which can be kind of applicable to a lot of things. So go ahead and watch that. I'll put it up here, of course, all about picking out a holster for your defensive carry handgun. So go ahead and do that, but plan on budgeting $200 for that. Next, we have ammo storage. Basically, don't overthink it. Here we have, this is full. I guess I was lazy. Didn't want to unload this. But this is just one plastic, simple, dedicated ammo storage bin. Probably about 20 bucks. This isn't anything special, but you can get something like this for pretty cheap. Just as good or even better would be just a simple tote. You can put them in a simple tote or an ammo can. You can do that. You don't need to spend a lot of money. One of the most important things that you're going to invest in this 4th chapter of your journey would be more ammo. And here you got to spend a little bit of money. You should have at least 1,000 rounds of whatever your caliber is. That cartridge, 9mm, is the example we're using here. Don't overspend on it, but plan on getting something that you know is going to work through your gun. I talked about previous videos about buying blazer brass. That is fine. Just stick with whatever is working for you and keep buying it. Don't overspend on it. Plan on buying in bulk. Know that that is going to be something you're going to budget for going forward. So just think of it as an investment. And I feel strongly that you should always have 1,000 rounds on hand. Now those 1,000 rounds of ammo are not because you're going to shoot 1,000 rounds defending yourself, okay? Those 1,000 rounds are for you to train, and they are also for you to help weather out any storm of price fluctuation, right? As ammo prices go up and down, you will find there will be panic buying here and there, and you don't want to be stuck spending 40 cents a round for 9mm when you could have just spent 22 cents or even 30 cents, right? If you know you can get it for 30 and under, then when you can't find it for under 40 cents, you'll just wait till it goes back down. That's why always having 1,000 rounds available for you to train with as needed is very important. And lastly, I'm going to talk about improved security. Once you've decided that this gun is going to be a part of your life, it's going to live at your home, right, with you, and perhaps loaded, perhaps not, but if it's not on you, if you leave it at home, it should be, in most people's opinions, locked up. We do not think of firearms as cheap or inexpensive items, but we have many things in our home which are worth just as much or more. It used to be a television would be worth much more than most firearms. Now they've gotten a lot cheaper. But even your air fryer you have in your kitchen, or maybe you have a nice KitchenAid blender or whatever. You have a lot of things in your home which are probably worth just as much or more than your firearm. Don't feel that you have to lock that up to prevent it from being stolen, because that applies to everything. Now, if you feel you need to lock it up to prevent the wrong people from mishandling it, say you have kids who are going to snoop around or whatever that is, well, that is a very good reason to do it. Unfortunately, this also applies to some states in which they maintain you have to have them locked up. I think Australia, which is not a state, of course, but like Australia is like that, and there are some others, I think California and whatever. I don't live there, so I don't keep track of that, but that is a problem. So if you need to lock up your handgun, there's plenty of ways to lock that up. You can spend lots of money on it, but you can also do it really cheaply. And this is one cheap way to do it. This is a simple tote. Actually, this is slightly nicer tote than most, okay? Has a removable lid, which is removable clear lid. It is lockable, right? You can put a lock right through there. That will very much keep out people who should not be in there. Also, if someone wants to break in, they're going to break it and get into this thing anyway. You have to accept certain level of risk. You lock your car, you know that someone could break the windows and still get in there, but you lock your car because some people aren't willing to break a window. Simple enough. And you can get your own lock, obviously, for that, but you can just even use this thing, which we don't, probably didn't have a use for anywhere else. Or as I said in a previous chapter, this can be the security that you need for that gun. So if you're trying to lock up your ammo and your mags and other things of value, you can put them in here, or you could also just lock the gun with this, or put them all in here, lock that together. So you get the idea. Well, basically that's about it. We're still under $1,800 for all of this together, about $1,750 to $1,800 roughly, depending on where you cut corners and where you spend a little bit more money. But just know that this is an investment, and for most people it is most definitely worth it. Also, a lot of these things do not really lose a lot of value. Guns don't lose a lot of value. Ammo doesn't lose a lot of value as long as you buy it cheap. Magazines almost never lose lots of value, but they lose a little bit. And of course, ammunition, the value is supposed to be that you are training with it. That is very important. So that's basically about it. Like I said, go back and watch the other few chapters, and especially stick around and watch the holster video I will do separately, well, basically right after this. All right, thanks again for watching, everybody. That's it for now.